What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Luttie's Look Back, episode 15. My name is Nick Luttrell. I hope everyone had a good Christmas, and we'll be having a happy new year here in a few days. We've got a fun show for you guys today with two great bowl wins from the weekend from the Razorbacks and the Red Wolves of the A-State, plus some basketball updates that we'll talk about. But we'll start today's show how we always do with my three big things from the Liberty Bowl for the Razorbacks, a 39-26 victory for Arkansas. And the first big thing is the play of Taylor Green. He was clearly the best player on the field when Arkansas and Texas Tech faced off in Memphis on Friday night. And there's a reason he was named MVP, because statistically, this guy played probably, I'm going to say, his second best game as a Razorback. The first one being that Mississippi State game, where I think he had better playing and more yardage than what he did in this game. But he did have 341 passing yards, 81 rushing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. And I think he probably only had maybe 1 or 2 plays where I thought that was not a great play from Taylor Green. And usually we get a few of those where he runs about 20 yards backwards and gets sacked. There's only one. And it wasn't entirely his fault, and it was the safety. And I'm not going to harp on too many details, because this is more about, looking to the future a little bit with this game. But he did get that safety. I think it was third quarter. Snapped the ball, and he had 2 guys running to his right, and he just looks to the left as soon as those 2 guys start running to his right. Braylon Russell, I think he was probably in charge of trying to block both, and he missed, I think, both of them, and then Green just became overwhelmed and just fell in the end zone for a safety. So that was frustrating, but I don't want to talk about the bad plays from Taylor Green, because really that's the only one. I want to talk about all the good plays. He had one play that Pittman talked about in his post-game press conference where he rolled to his right. Actually, he scrambled up the middle, then rolled to his right, then dropped the defender in front of him, and then found C.J. Brown down the field. That's what we knew going into the season. We knew we would have a lot of really good Taylor Green plays and a couple bad ones sprinkled in there. You take what you can get. And for Arkansas in this game, they took a lot of good plays from Taylor Green, especially the passing numbers. Like I said, almost 400 yards passing. Actually, not almost 350 yards passing, only on 11 completions. I think he was like 11 for 24 or something like that. So, somewhat efficient, not maybe the best efficiency-wise, but it's kind of crazy because there was a lot of big plays, and that goes to show you he only had 11 completions. So that's my first big thing from Taylor Green. The second one is on the defensive side of the ball for the Razorbacks. They finally forced turnovers. We've been waiting for that for I don't know, weeks, it seems like. I think the last game Arkansas forced a turnover or multiple turnovers or just affected the game on the defensive side of the ball as far as turnovers go, probably going back to that Mississippi State game, or maybe not even Mississippi State, maybe the Auburn game. Both those, they had a multi-turnover performance, and that was great. But since then, we haven't seen them have those turnovers like you want to be able to go better than 7-6. So I don't want to harp too much on the past, but you think about what this defense could have accomplished this season. They definitely had a lot of really good games, but if they could have just forced a couple more turnovers, Arkansas could be in a different spot than in the Liberty Bowl. But nonetheless, they played really good in this game, especially in the second half. They had both their interceptions coming by Miguel Mitchell and Marquise Robinson, and both of those interceptions coming in the second half. They had a safety of their own also in this game. This game was a little wacky, just with 2 safeties and 3 made field goals by the Razorbacks and Matthew Shipley. A lot of weird stuff happened in this game, and that was one of them, but the defense played really good. So good to see the defense playing good. That's point number 2. The final point, kind of a broad point. This is a standalone game, and usually people say that, like, I feel like talking about college basketball. Like, oh, that was a standalone game. When people look back, that's going to be a game that, it just in and of itself is a great game. That's not how I mean when I say this is a standalone game. How I mean when I say that is it wasn't really a game that was a part of this season, and it's not really a game that's a part of next season, because it's just a weird thing we got going on right now in college football, because this team, it wasn't the team that we've seen all season long, right? Because half of Arkansas starters didn't play in this game. Multiple Texas Tech starters didn't play in this game. It wasn't a game in which you can define the season by. So it's a standalone game, and it wasn't a game that you can really group for next season, because next season's team is going to look completely different. Obviously, Arkansas has a lot of guys a lot of guys from the transfer portal that will be joining the team in spring ball, and we'll get to see them here in a few months. But it's a standalone game. It's by itself, and that's why it's a little just weird with how college athletics and college football is now with these bowl games and with the team being completely different. When you look back at this game a couple years from now, you're probably not going to remember that Desmond James is the guy who set the career record for longest touchdown in Arkansas longest passing touchdown in Arkansas football history. That's my guess. Who knows? Desmond James could be a guy who plays really good next year, becomes an Andrew Armstrong type of guy. I don't know. I don't think so. I think this is just a game where he had that really good catch, and then he had 2 other good catches, and that's it for him. I could be wrong, but that's kind of my prediction on that. So it's a standalone game. It's alone by itself, but it was a game in which Arkansas won. They won the Liberty Bowl, and it's much better feeling than them losing. And I think I can say that as a reporter for THV 11, but also as a fan and for you fans watching it. So those are a little bit of my points, my 3 big things from the game. Let's hear from the head coach, Sam Pittman, after the game.
We've got good players. Just because you guys don't know about them doesn't mean that they're not good players. But now you know about them a little bit. We have more depth than maybe possibly what you might have thought. And we'll go to work in the portal. But the bottom line is that we've got a good football team with the one that we had tonight. And I'm really proud of the kids. A lot of times people will ask you, are you ready to play in a bowl game? Hell yeah, we're going to a bowl game. It's exciting. It's hard to get to. And they're awful hard to win. And fortunately, we were able to win tonight. I think a key to tonight's game was we had to get some confidence in our team. And I talked to the older guys about building confidence into the guys that hadn't played much. The older guys had to play well, and you see, they're sitting here. And so the young guys could feed off of that confidence. But I think it was a fast start, defense making an early stop, and then they made a 4th down stop. And then really the offense took over, Taylor took over, and we have Taylor Green. A lot of teams don't, and it gives us opportunity to win.
All right, once again, a really good performance from the Razorbacks, and especially Taylor Green. That gives you a little bit of confidence heading into next season with what Green can accomplish, what he has the potential to accomplish. I think we saw that in this game. Granted, it was against, and I want to remind people here, it was against a Texas Tech defense that is really bad. If you remember how bad the Mississippi State defense was, Texas Tech was pretty similar. Out of like 360 or 70 college football teams, their defense ranked like 350 or 360 or something like that. It was very, very far down on the list. They didn't have their defense coordinator because he got fired. So again, don't want to harp on this game too much, but I don't want you fans out there to get too excited, but also don't get too disappointed. This was almost kind of a neutral game where, again, it doesn't affect too much of how this past season went. It doesn't really affect what next season is going to look like. But again, on the positive side, it's a win. It's a Liberty Bowl win. And speaking of bowl wins, let's move on to Arkansas State. They take down Bowling Green 38-31 in the 68 Ventures Bowl. A lot of highlights in this one. Unfortunately, we can't show you highlights because of silly rules with, NCAA and showing footage and whatnot. But it was a win for Arkansas State in the Ventures Bowl, and it was an exciting win. Again, first of all, when we talk about quarterbacks and talk about Taylor Green for the Razorbacks, I'm not going to put Jalen Rayner on the same level, but he's up there, and he's certainly getting better. Just a sophomore, and it's been incredible to see the progression he has made from last year when he played as a freshman, got the starting nod towards the end of the season, got better and better, lost the bowl game, to where they got now. Arkansas State wasn't supposed to win this game. They were like a 10-point underdog, something like that. Bowling Green was definitely the favorite heading into this game, and it was because of the play of their big 3 on the offensive end that Arkansas State and special teams. These big 3 plus a special teams pretty big play was the reason Arkansas State won this game. And it starts with Jalen Rayner, 200-plus passing yards, 3 total touchdowns, including 1 that he ran in. Of course, the other part of the big 3, Zach Wallace and Corey Rucker. Wallace almost 100 yards rushing. Corey Rucker, dude, can absolutely play. I've been saying it all year on this show. He has been that go-to guy. He's been the Andrew Armstrong on this Arkansas State team, and it's exciting because he is returning. He announced that 2 days ago, I believe, that he would be returning for next season for his senior year. So he is a really special player. A-State is very happy to have and blessed to have Corey Rucker as their wide receiver because he is phenomenal. He's a great wide receiver, and he'll probably be playing in the NFL someday, especially if he has a season like he had this year. Next year, I mean, look out. And this Arkansas State team could be pretty dangerous, too. So he had 100-plus receiving yards in this game, including a 60- or 70-yard touchdown that gave him a lot of those receiving yards. His 2 touchdowns helped Arkansas State win the game. So, again, Rucker, Wallace, Rayner, that's been the go-to 3 guys on offense all season long for Arkansas State. We saw it again in this one. And then, once again, special teams was big. Courtney Jackson had his 2nd punt return touchdown of the season in this game, and it was electric. I think that was their first touchdown of the game, and you just saw that gave them a lot of momentum to win this game. So that's some of my thoughts from the game. Let's hear from Red Wolves head coach Butch Jones after the game.
The journey of these seniors of 2 wins, 3 wins, 6 wins, and now 8 wins, and the trust that they had in the process of building something special. And in the age of the transfer portal, where it's easy, if you don't get your way or you don't want to put the work in, you think that something's going to show up better for you. They stayed here, and they've been kind of the caretakers of Arkansas State football, the catalyst for what you witnessed tonight. So I just can't say enough about them. I think the biggest thing of the game when you look back is we never relinquished momentum. We gained momentum right from the start, and we never let that momentum go even through the ebbs and flows of the game. Made some critical plays that we needed to, and we also showed some resolve and some resiliency when things didn't go our way. We were always able to match them.
So an 8-win season for the Red Wolves. It's the first time that has happened since 2019, and also their first bowl game victory since 2019. And really, since Butch Jones took over, his 2021 was his first season. I think he had 2 wins in 2021. 2022, okay, I'm spitballing here because I didn't write it down, but a couple more wins in 2022, maybe like 1 or 2 more wins. 2023, which was last year, they've just kept getting better and better. I think last year was 6 wins. This year's 8 wins. And Butch Jones has done a really good job rebuilding this Arkansas State program to where it is now. And like I said earlier, it's going to be fun to see what this team looks like in the future. Because what does the future hold? Well, it holds a date with the Razorbacks in week 2 of next season. 250 days from right now. I'm already excited. I'm ready to go. War Memorial Stadium, Razorbacks Red Wolves. Let's go. We got 250 days, so it's still a little bit of time from now. But I'm so excited for that game because I think the Red Wolves could put up a fight. There's still a lot we got to learn about both of these teams. They've still got spring ball to go through. Got to chill out a little bit, but it's really exciting because I think both these teams are they have a lot of positivity, a lot of optimism heading into the offseason. So that is some football talk from the weekend. Let's move on to basketball and start with the Lady Razorbacks hosting the Sugar Bears of UCA. Arkansas gets the win 87-70 in this one. I thought it'd be a little closer, and it was. After the first quarter, Arkansas only led the game by 1 or 2 points. Izzy Higginbottom actually hit a buzzer beater at the end of the first quarter to give Arkansas the lead, and then they kind of carried that into the second quarter, outscored them 24-11 in the second quarter to get the win. And speaking of Higginbottom, she had 26 points. I mean, it's amazing kind of what she's doing. I get that she's on a team where they're not a very talented team, and she's obviously leading the team in points. One thing to lead a bad Arkansas team, yeah, I'm going to call them bad Arkansas team in points. But it's another thing to lead the whole entire conference. She leads the SEC in points, which is really impressive. So, and cool to see that she got the win on her birthday. And again, she was hurt for a little bit of this game. She said she had a little bit of an injury when they played a week ago in South Carolina. I can't remember exactly where they were playing, but it was a tournament out of state, and she said she got hurt in that one, some kind of hip flexor or something or another. And in this game, it definitely affected her. She left the game and went on the ground twice and had to be kind of helped off the court a few times. I think it was twice, and then came back and still had 26 points. So good to see that she is fighting through the injury. She definitely seems like that type of player. An injury isn't going to bother her, and it doesn't seem like an injury where she has to sit out or it's anything serious. It just seems like a nagging injury where she has to maybe get a little bit of recovery time to get ready for it. But not much time to recover. They got a big game coming up on Thursday, which we'll talk about in a second. But in this game, Arkansas shot the ball really well, 47% from 2-point land, 40% from beyond the arc. And on the flip side, UCA did shoot the ball well, just not as good, especially not as good after the first quarter. In the first quarter, they had 7 3-pointers. 7 3-pointers. They were shooting lights out, and then that kind of trailed off after that, which is what you'll see. Typically, UCA wasn't the better team in this one. They had a chance to win. They could have won. But usually what you'll see when a smaller team like UCA is trying to pull the upset, they'll come out firing, ready to go in the first quarter, and then after that, it just kind of dies down. And Arkansas did a good job of responding in this game and getting the win. And again, on the UCA side, Jade Upshaw, she continues to be pretty good for this Sugar Bears team. She leads the team in points this season. She had 15 points in this game. Again, it was a little bit slow for her in the first quarter, which is kind of the flip of what happened to UCA, but she played good in this game. She was also in foul trouble, which affected how much playing time she got. So that is what happened with Arkansas and UCA, and let's hear from head coach Mike Neighbors after the game.
You know, Central Arkansas has watched a bunch of film on us. They knew this was a great opportunity for them to come in here and win. And the way they started, I think their emotions were really high. When we were able to punch back and keep it going, I think that gave us a little bit of separation from that point on. So I think it was crucial that it happened at that time and not in the second half, because then we could have been in panic mode a little bit. I think it was important for us to play well, first and foremost, which I think we did for the majority of the game. And the win secondary, but playing well was the big key. We shot it better. We got better shots. We settled in and defended a little bit. You know, they made some unbelievable shots in the first quarter. Got off to a great start, but you know, I said to the team, we had been in that situation before where we make shots and then it just goes dead. That's kind of what happened. So we reminded them that could happen. You know, I thought when Izzy went out, our group really came together and went on a little run. And then when they saw her come back out, I think it just gave us another shot of adrenaline.
All right, so nice win for Arkansas. Some more of my thoughts, I guess, up next. Future looking for the Razorbacks and the Sugar Bears. That's it for non-conference play for both of them. Conference play is up next. And for the Razorbacks, it gets pretty tough. I think 3 of their first 4 SEC competition starting out in their SEC slate are ranked opponents. And their first one comes Thursday night against against LSU, of course, of the SEC. And LSU, a really good team. I think they're number 8 or number 6 in the country, so that will certainly be a challenge for the Lady Razorbacks. Let's move on now to Arkansas State women. They fall to App State 77-62 as their conference opener. A bit of an ugly game, 35 combined turnovers in this one, 21 for App State, 14 for A-State. Not a great showing from Arkansas State. It just progressively kind of got worse throughout the game. They played okay, and they kind of played okay the entire game, while App State just kind of played a little bit better the entire game. There was not a ton of runs or anything. That's just kind of what happened in this game. But a bright spot was a player who I think I haven't talked about hardly at all on this show, and that's Kennedy Montu, 21 points, 8 rebounds off the bench, and she was efficient. That was a big thing for her. She was really efficient in this game. She kept Arkansas State close a few times. They were close in the first half, and then that's when App State kind of pulled away in the second half. So tough look for Red Wolves. I think they've lost 5 of their last 7. They fall to 4-7 on the season. So tough one for the Red Wolves. Let's move on now to the men's side of hoops. Only one team in action over the weekend, and that is Central Arkansas. Ugly first half for Central Arkansas. They were playing a team that, you know, they definitely should have beaten by a lot more than they did, especially they were trailing by 2 in the first half to Southwestern Christian. So that's not very promising. I have high hopes still for this UCA team. I think they're a really good team. I don't know, really good might be a stretch. I think they're a good team, and this is their last non-conference game, so I'd hope maybe conference starts, they get their feet under them a little bit. And I will say they have had a lot of injuries, a lot of guys out. And so maybe once they get into conference play, they get some of those guys healthier, you can give me a little bit more optimism. It's just tough to have a ton of optimism right now. But in this game, they played a lot better in the second half. They trailed by 2 to begin the second half, and then they just blew past them in the second half, outscored them by 20. Elliot Cato, 22 points, 11 rebounds. Impressive double-double from him. Lane Taylor, a little inefficient, 15 points, but 3 from 10 from beyond the arc. Not the Lane Taylor we've seen this season. I think he's top 20 in the country as far as freshman scoring points per game. So Lane Taylor, a really good player out of Farmington. If you haven't heard of him, get to know the name. But Lane Taylor didn't shoot great from beyond the arc. Neither did his team. 7 for 31 from three-point range for the Bears. So tough tough look for them, at least in the first half, but they respond in the second half. A win is a win. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. They're not going to be considered for a March Madness spot unless they win their conference. So conference play starts on Thursday, and UCA needs to take advantage of their conference opponents and get some wins. So that is a look back at basketball. Let's go back to football, but in the NFL. From Christmas Day, Chiefs take down the Steelers 29-10. On the right side of your screen, Jaguars take down the Titans, and the Titans just continue to lose 20-13. I guess at this point, since most of these teams aren't going to make the playoffs, like the Saints and the Titans and the Cowboys, I guess it just makes sense to lose, and that's what happened this weekend, so I guess that's good. Raiders took down the Saints 25-10. Eagles took down the Cowboys 41-7. And again, maybe it's better that they just tank at this point to get better draft picks. That's what I would do. I don't know. I don't know if that's really the best move. I pay attention to NFL a decent amount. I'm not the expert on NFL and following all these teams, but that would be my analysis from what they should do going forward. I think there's only like 1 or 2 games left, so just lose them, right? That's my thoughts on NFL. Let's finish up our show how we always do, though, with my Lutties. Look ahead. Arkansas men's basketball team hosting Oakland. That game is tonight at 7 o'clock on ESPN2 and Bud Walton Arena. And again, Arkansas should take advantage of a team that they are better than. An Oakland team that is just 4-9 on the season. Again, Arkansas should win this game. But on the other hand, this is a game in which Coach John Calipari will be facing off against the same Oakland team that ended his head coaching career at Kentucky back in March. So a really interesting thing to look at between both of these teams with the Razorbacks and Oakland. They should take advantage, and this is their last game heading into conference play. On Saturday, they go to number 1 Tennessee, which will be a really challenging game for the Razorbacks. So maybe they can pull it off. That's what we'll be talking about in next week's show. For this week's show, thank you so much for watching, and have a happy New Year.